As the Taliban strengthens its control of Afghanistan, there are new fears about possible terrorist threats to this country. Former Homeland Security Secretary Jay Johnson.
Hello, today I present to you an extremely attractive application for music lovers. It's completely free. You can listen to music online or download unlimited music to use whenever you don't have internet. The powerful search function helps you find anything you want. Trust me. It's hard not to find what you're looking for because the search function is really powerful. Application download link is attached in the description of the video. I'm pretty sure you'll like it. Thanks.
Joins us now. Welcome, Mr. Secretary. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
This has been a very dangerous withdrawal and continues to be. What should the U.S. have done differently?
Well, I'm sensitive to second-guessing our government sitting here in Manhattan. I know what it's like to be in the hot seat, to be in the situation room. Clearly, this withdrawal was not going to be pretty. Withdrawals never are. No. Any American who is proud of his country should be horrified by the images that we saw yesterday of the C-17 taking off and the Afghans running after the American Air Force plane. It does seem as though we had to rush to get the 6,000 in. We did not anticipate, and the president acknowledged this, we did not anticipate the speed with which the Afghan government would collapse and the Taliban
Should he have anticipated it, do you think?
Given it's difficult to second guess, I don't have the intelligence assessments anymore that I used to read every single day when I was secretary. Yeah. But it does seem as though, given the timeline we were on, that this Afghan government was going to collapse rapidly because of the way in which we got out and because of their own inability to fight. The whole thing collapsed like a tent on toothpicks.
Mr. Secretary, we're just a few weeks away from the 20th anniversary of 9/11, the reason we got into Afghanistan in the first place. Those anniversaries are always a heightened risk for a terrorism activity. Does the fall of Afghanistan even increase that risk, and what concerns do you have?
I think the honest answer, Tony, is that we just don't know yet. Afghanistan, and I've been there a number of times when I was general counsel of DOD, Afghanistan, what is most striking about it is how remote the terrain is. You could hide an entire American city in the mountains of Afghanistan. Most of Afghanistan is ungoverned space. That type of terrain is a potential haven for terrorist organizations, Al-Qaeda and other groups. That was true in 2001. It's true in 2021. On the other hand, we've done a lot to degrade Al-Qaeda over the last 20 years. We've done a lot to degrade the Islamic State through our counterterrorism operations. I think we do not know yet exactly what the risk that is presented. But anytime you have ungoverned space and the potential for a caliphate in a place like Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria, the Horn of Africa, we have to be vigilant in our counterterrorism operations, whether it's inside that country or beyond its borders.
So the idea is, from the Biden administration, that they're going to monitor al-Qaeda activity in Afghanistan, and if it reemerges, they're going to stamp it out. But given
frankly, it would have been much better to do that in country. I'm with those who said that for our own homeland security purposes, it would be much better to maintain a small special forces operation in country for intelligence collection and for counterterrorism purposes.
His own military advisors also advise Mr. Biden to do that as well. But, you know, I think that the point he's raising, and a lot of Americans feel, listen, we've been there for 20 years, we've helped support them. At what point do you get out? But the optics, though, Jay, are just so heartbreaking to me. Yep. For everybody. It's haunting. And it may be the right decision, but it just feels so wrong.
Gail, unfortunately, the world's greatest superpower has to relearn a hard lesson about once every generation or so, which is that a counterinsurgency effort against insurgents in their own homeland is rarely ever winnable. The Taliban used to say, you folks have the watches, but I have the time. And so for 20 years, they've been waiting us out. And now we see the inevitable. On the other hand, I think it would have been wise to keep in place a small force in Afghanistan to protect our own homeland security, to protect our own vital security
The
interests.
small force is what, 2,500 troops?
Could be 2,500, could be 3,000 in a country as large as Afghanistan.
Doesn't sound like much.
Doesn't
At
sound
all.
like much.
Right, but if you see one American soldier coming over the hill, you don't know if it's 1 or 10 or 100.
Still, it's a far cry from 10 years ago when we had over 100,000.
The Taliban says they're different now, especially when it comes to women. They are allegedly encouraging women to get into government, to participate in education. Do you think they can be trusted?
Time will tell. I know from experience in national security that terrorist organizations, insurgent groups, do sometimes make a deliberate decision to keep the United States out of their way, to make decisions to not focus terrorist attacks, for example, on the U.S. because they don't want us in their business again. Time will tell. It does seem from the last 24 hours that the Taliban is trying to win a certain degree of respect in the international community, but we'll see whether they show their true stripes.
Yeah.
And degrading women is part of who they are fundamentally.
But you always hear the best indication of future behavior is past behavior, and their past
Absolutely
behavior
true.
is not good.
Not good, and they're walking around the streets right now with weapons, so that doesn't look good
Exactly.
either. Mr. Secretary, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good to see you.